What is up, guys? This is your boy Andy Matrix. I talk about anime, manga, video games, geek culture, and Japanese culture. Before we get started, make sure to hit the subscription button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and like the video for future notifications. And today I am at Otaku Magazine USA. Otaku USA Magazine. I actually subscribed to this magazine once upon a time, years ago. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about, I guess, a bleak future for Japanese anime. See, Japan's not doing so well with animation. And we have the creator of Gundam, Mr. Tomino, Yoshiyuki Tomino. He's saying that Japan is no longer advanced in terms of animation, right? And Mr. Tomino here, he says, for him, it has to do with the rise of Chinese animation and a lack of support from politicians in Japan. Because Japan, they still kind of, Japanese politicians, they still kind of look at anime and animation kind of like they did 30, 40 years ago. They don't really support it. They don't support it, even though it brings billions of dollars to the Japanese economy. Of course, they're not going to support it. Very smart, very smart. Anyways, Tomino says, recounts that 10 years ago he went to a Peking University in Beijing to give a lecture in animation and was surprised by the number of enthusiastic students. Now, 10 years later, he says many of those students are now professionals working in the Chinese animation industry. Right? And then he says, I feel a sense of crisis that if we continue to make animation from a business-oriented perspective, we will be completely outdone by our Beijing counterparts, said Tomino. Says, as someone who's yeah, so he sounds like he's worried about animation in Japan. And what a lot of people don't know, and I actually talked about this in a previous video, is that Japan, they started outsourcing a lot of their animation work to China and South Korea. And I mean, look at America, for example. America, they outsource to, America outsourced to South Korea. Avatar: The Last Airbender, most of the animation work was outsourced to South Korea, but it was produced in America. And it's the same thing with anime. There's going to be more anime being produced in China. I mean, I'm not saying that every studio is going to be doing this, but it's becoming more and more common now. And also, Japan has, they have a declined birth rate. There's people leaving the animation industry in Japan because of the pay. Companies like Netflix is not paying them shit. It's a huge problem. Right? So, for example, Netflix was paying Studio Mappa, bottom of the barrel rates. And it's, this is happening. This is happening. This is happening in the industry. And China has been having an increase in anime. China is making their own anime, And there's people, bringing Chinese anime to Japan. If you go to Nikkei Asia, it says Chinese online anime pioneer finds new audience in Japan. It says co-founder Youth 17 platform blazes path for Chinese animated films, right? All right, so this guy is a Japanese guy promoting Chinese anime. It says a key figure of the rise of Chinese online animation industry is making a name for himself in Japan as well, with a movie distribution company bringing content from his home country to meet growing demand in homeland of anime. So China's bringing anime, or their own anime, to Japan, and they're very serious about this. And I was recently reading an article from Tencent. It said Tencent escalates legal battle against TikTok owner, ByteDance owner copyright infringement of popular anime series. So Chinese companies like Tencent, they go after people, who are basically screwing them over with their, their intellectual properties. They don't mess around. The Chinese don't mess around. They're very serious. And so in the future, everybody's gonna have to learn two languages, English and Mandarin, because China's gonna take over the world one day. So everybody, start learning Mandarin, guys. Start learning Mandarin. Oh boy. Yo, and I'm gonna keep an eye on this. I'm gonna keep an eye because I am not apprehensive about this at all. You know, and also Chinese anime is not very good because China has so many restrictions and they're so they censor so much. I mean, recently I made a video about how China censored Miss Kobayashi Dragon Maid. You know, they basically shrunk her titties. China doesn't like big boobies for whatever reason. They censored, you know, what was it? The Way of the House Husband, the next Yakuza member. It's an anime. They censored it. They censored the tattoos. And, I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy, the censorship in China. And because there's so much censorship in China, creators, writers, artists, they don't have as much freedom as they do, which is why people like the creator of Love Hina is trying to run for a political position in Japan to protect freedom of expression. So if China starts to conquer, then they could bring their politics and ideas over to the anime industry, and it could ruin a lot of things. We're gonna see people like having less and less and less freedom of expression. And I don't know, you know, how popular are they? I mean, outside of China, that is. Outside of China, how popular is Chinese anime? Exactly, because the stories are so bad and so repetitive. You know, and I see this in wuxia. I see this in wuxia too. The stories tend to be repetitive. And again, it's because the lack of creativity has to do with their oppression in China. Because, again, the government is so authoritarian and controlling, and there's so much censorship that they have to watch out what the stories they write. I heard that a comedian in China, if you're a comedian in China, you have to submit your jokes to like the CCP, the Communist Party. They check your jokes, and you have to make sure that there's no jokes against the against the CCP, nothing that they disagree with. So it's crazy, and I imagine it's the same thing with anime and books and manga in China. Like, if it doesn't pass their, if it's too unacceptable for them, they just won't publish it in their country, And if they keep getting more power, they're gonna, bring that stuff over to Japan and even America. And I see that it's just spreading like fire. It's spreading like fire, and I'm a little worried. But anyways, whatever your thoughts are, make sure to comment below in the comment section. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. And this is Andy Matrix, guys. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video. Godspeed.